The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 1,152,239. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 18,360. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 6,350, with total confirmed deaths at 155. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, February 10th. A mix-up in messaging may be to blame for thousands of coronavirus vaccines that went unused yesterday, as Los Angeles County public health officials announced that county-run vaccine sites would only administer second doses this week. Many thought that was also the case at Dodger Stadium, which is actually run by the city of Los Angeles. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti's office said that LA City administered nearly 6,000 doses at the stadium on Tuesday, but according to the Los Angeles Fire Department, there were about 7,000 appointments still available by mid-afternoon. County-run sites include the Pomona Fairplex, the Forum, Cal State Northridge, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and the Los Angeles County of Education building in the city of Downey. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom officially opened another vaccination super site, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, which is hoping to ramp up its distribution to 15,000 vaccinations per day. Well, Governor Newsom traveled to Fresno this afternoon to provide updates on the state's response to the pandemic, as well as the state's vaccine distribution efforts, especially in the Central Valley region. Local assembly, congressional, and Senate members were there to welcome the governor and to share updates on the state's response. Newsom announced significant progress that the state is making in the steady decline of new COVID cases, hospitalizations, and positivity rates. Just a month ago, Newsom says 50,000 new cases were reported, and today that number has dropped to 8,000. That trend is also showing in the number of ICU patients that have dropped over the course of the past 30 days. Governor Newsom says the issue of mutations is also a top priority for health officials. Currently, there are 159 identifiable cases of the UK variant, 2 types of West Coast variants as well, and 3 cases of the South African variant now found in the state. Currently, the positivity rate statewide is below 5%. As more counties begin to move out of the purple tier, Newsom says he anticipates the return of many businesses as they get ready to reopen in the coming weeks. To date, more than 5 million people have now been vaccinated in the state of California. Newsom says he anticipates another 1 million vaccines to be delivered this week, and in the coming months, more vaccines should be readily available with the entry of companies like Johnson & Johnson. Newsom shared optimism in today's briefing, saying there is real progress across the spectrum. Social media giant Facebook is going to expand its ban on COVID vaccine misinformation. In an effort to ensure conspiracies don't get posted online and shared, Facebook is scaling up its monitoring of incorrect claims while posting more information about how and where to get vaccinated. Facebook is not allowing users to post false claims about how the shots are dangerous, toxic, or cause autism. Facebook will also take down posts that contend that the vaccine is ineffective. Facebook also plans to post information about the inoculations from reliable sources. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is hoping to make community college and training programs accessible for everyone. As a part of President Joe Biden's administration's efforts to rebuild the economy, the First Lady, a longtime community college professor and advocate, says people struggling to get by during the pandemic need access to these schools. The First Lady spoke at a virtual legislative summit hosted by the Association of Community College Trustees and the American Association of Community College. In 2015, then President Barack Obama and Vice President Biden had pushed a plan to provide 2 years of free community college, but the proposal was shut down in Congress. First Lady Biden indicated that the Biden administration would revive that idea. The average tuition and fees to attend a community college costs about $3,700 based on the 2019 to 2020 academic year. First Lady Biden, who continues to teach, is the First Lady with a paying job outside of the White House. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released a new study that found wearing 2 masks is better than 1 in curbing the spread of COVID-19. Researchers used 2 mannequin-like forms to test exposure, spacing 2 artificial heads 6 feet apart. They checked to see how many coronavirus-sized particles flew by one and was inhaled by the other. The study found that wearing 1 mask, whether it was a surgical one or one made of cloth, blocked about 40% of the particles coming toward the head that was breathing it in. When a cloth mask was worn on top of a surgical mask, about 80% was blocked. When both the exhaling and inhaling heads were double masked, more than 95% of the particles were blocked. Now, while researchers couldn't say whether using one brand of a surgical mask and cloth mask was better than another, it did suggest that overall, the combination of using a close-fitting mask with the filtration of a surgical mask is a good option. The CDC suggests wearing a polypropylene surgical mask with a cloth mask on top as the most effective way to prevent transmitting the virus. U.S. public health officials could make another recommendation to help curb the spread of COVID-19, and it's receiving mixed reviews. Officials at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are in active talks with Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on whether to require coronavirus testing for travelers on domestic flights. The federal government already requires international travelers to be tested before they board flights in the U.S., a mandate that drew praise from many in the aviation industry. But requiring tests for domestic travel poses a different set of challenges for the administration. With pushback from the travel industry, testing requirements would mark an aggressive effort to disrupt one aspect of the disease spread. While government officials have emphasized the power of wearing masks as vaccinations continue to roll out, the Transportation Security Administration says millions of Americans still continue to travel by air each week, potentially spreading the virus. Officials are weighing health concerns against the economic impact this may have on the airline industry. Airline companies have received more than $60 billion in government aid, while unions are lobbying for an additional $15 billion in support. American and United were among the recent carriers to announce they may have to furlough more than 27,000 employees at the end of March if federal support does not kick in. The CDC currently asks all travelers to quarantine for 7 to 10 days upon returning from out of town to help limit the spread of the virus. The South Coast Air Quality Management District issued a residential no-burn alert for today. From midnight through 11:59 tonight, residents are prohibited from burning wood in fireplaces or any indoor or outdoor wood-burning devices. This is to help keep the air clean, especially when levels of fine particulate air pollution in the region is forecast to be high. Residents are encouraged to sign up to receive email alerts at airalerts.org and be sure to sign up for Torrance Alerts to stay in the know at torranceca.gov/Torrance Alerts. LA County's arts community will soon see some pandemic relief thanks to the LA Arts Recovery Fund. The nearly $39 million fund was established to help small and medium-sized arts nonprofits across the county as organizations have had to cancel exhibits, lay off staff, and suffer other hardships. The J. Paul Getty Trust initiated the fund, and the California Community Foundation will administer it. Struggling art organizations with an annual operating budget of under $10 million prior to the pandemic are eligible to apply for restricted funds that can go toward programming operating expenses, such as rent, utilities, and staff compensation starting this spring. The effort also includes workshops and private consultations on managing finances, creating digital platforms, and other areas of professional development. With Super Bowl 55 behind us, the Los Angeles Super Bowl host committee is already looking ahead to 2022 and released its logo for next year's big event, which will be held right here in Los Angeles. The chair of the host committee, Casey Wasserman, said, quote, "The NFL coming back to LA wasn't just about a team or two playing home games. It's about all the other things that it could bring to the city, the community, and the region." He went on to say, maybe there's never been a better time to talk about hope, optimism, and recovery, having the Los Angeles Super Bowl come on the heels, hopefully, of the pandemic. Originally, this year's Super Bowl was awarded to Los Angeles, but due to construction delays at Inglewood's SoFi Stadium, it led to Tampa stepping in to host the game and LA being awarded the next one. SoFi Stadium, home of the Rams and Chargers, has seating capacity of up to 100,000. The 3.1 million square feet stadium is located on 298 acres with a campus 3.5 times the size of Disneyland. Los Angeles hosted the first Super Bowl in 1967 at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Next year will mark the 13th Super Bowl to be played in California. An iconic Los Angeles event announced it will be canceled for a second consecutive year. The operators of the Fairplex in Pomona, where the LA County Fair is held every September, announced their flagship event would be canceled once again. The fair, which includes 19 days of celebrating food, carnival rides, live music, and livestock, is not only a disappointment to fairgoers, but a financial blow to the nonprofit Fairplex, which operates the fair and other events on the 500-acre county-owned land in Pomona. The fair and events such as car shows and concerts generate more than $1 million in net income, according to a Fairplex report. The LA County Fair may be canceled, but a popular local event is forging ahead virtually, and it begins today. Like most things during the pandemic, the South Bay Quilters Guild has taken its annual show and quilt sale to the internet. Starting today and running through Sunday, February 14th, the South Bay Guild is the only one in the Southern California Quilt Council to hold a virtual show. And not only is it free, but you can log on anytime and everyone is welcome to check it out. And while the show is only for this week, the quilt sale will run online through March 8th. Live events will be held on Zoom, including featured quilter Pat Bryan. Go to southbayquiltersguild.org. Another popular event here in Torrance isn't getting canceled. Instead, they're taking it to the virtual world, hoping to continue to stay engaged with community members. The Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce will host its annual State of the State event tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. The 26th and 35th District Senators and 66th District Assembly member will be in attendance and address the business community on the state's current business climate and what the future may hold for California businesses. This event is free to attend. All you need to do is register in advance. You can go to torrancechamber.com for more information. The Torrance Unified School District is bringing a new academic program to families, and they're inviting the community to learn more about it. TUSD is excited to announce the launch of a Spanish two-way dual immersion program this fall, starting with kinder students. The virtual information session will take place tonight at 5 p.m. in English, as well as a second session at 6:30 p.m. in Spanish. Data shows dual immersion enhances academic achievement, cognitive development, and increases listening and communication skills among students. To learn more or for questions, call the district at 310-972-6006. The Torrance City Council met online last night to discuss city business. 3 resolutions were read in honor of retiring city employees. Fire engineer Gary Bowman served our community for 30 years, firefighter Richard Van Tile for 27 years, and John Najjar of the General Services Department for 29 years. The council also read a proclamation declaring February as Black History Month in the city of Torrance. The council also approved a funding agreement recommended by the city's transit director, a partnership with the LA County Metropolitan Transportation Authority for the operational reimbursement of the Torrance Transit Line 4X Express from February of 2014 to 2020 in the amount of more than $4.4 million. You can read the full agenda online and catch the full meeting replayed on our channel, online, and on demand. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community. Feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Less than a week after it was postponed due to inclement weather, Los Angeles County, in partnership with the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, brought back the free food drive-through giveaway event today, handing out groceries to a total of 1,575 households. It took place at Del Amo Fashion Center this morning. Face coverings were required and participants were asked to remain in their cars as they pulled up to receive their free food. This was open to anyone and everyone who could use a helping hand, no questions asked. What a great way to show how Torrance cares for its community, one meal and one grocery bag at a time. We love seeing these events take place in our city. Now, if you have a great story, photo, or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.